Whistler Bike Park, the place famous for extreme stunts, high times, and rigid bikes? Welcome to Wistmas, the first day of the year that Whistler Bike Park is officially open. With Wistmas comes a certain element of excitement. Trails minus braking bumps, minus dust, and of course, the birth of a new season of biking sands uphill.
Howdy, guys. No squish.
Holy shit.
This video began as a way to share a new discovery I made, that you can still have a great time at the bike park on a rigid bike. I love my rigid enduro bike, and the idea of riding the bike park on it seemed ridiculous, until I tried it.
It can only make sense to pre-ride, re-ride, free-ride. So let's go do a warm-up on, this beeline zone.
But as I digested my experiences aboard the best bike that I own, I couldn't help but get nostalgic.
I thought this would be the worst ever.
The why behind my Whistler visits has certainly changed, but one thing
Do I
remains
need
the
a
same.
full suspension bike to ride Whistler? Probably.
It's a great place to fully become more of whatever type of rider you want to be. Maybe that's Rigid Enduro Bro, maybe it's Freeride Fred, or maybe it's Ricky Racer. Any which way, Whistler will make you more of that way. My first Whistler experience was 20 years ago. The 17-hour drive north only added to the adventure. In Canada, I was old enough to buy alcohol, though I couldn't afford it, and returned home to learn about what are called overdraft fees. Back then, I was an aspiring downhill racer and loved hanging it out and going fast, experiencing that adrenaline of smashing through the rocks and chunder. I was also still on my parents' health insurance. But as the adrenaline faded, I fell enamored with the technique of it all, of pumping turns, squashing jumps, and carrying speed through the rough. It was no longer pure adrenaline, and instead, more a self-expression and lifestyle experience. The next few years, roughly 2008 through 2012, there was an economic downturn. West Coast US downhill racing mostly died out, and I couldn't afford to go to the bike park. But by 2013, my downhill bikes had withered into simpler machines using single crown forks, and even the new at the time, dropper seat posts. While racing some of the Enduro World Series, I got my first taste of a trail bike at the bike park. I did still think back to that feel no fear attitude that comes packaged with a proper DH bike. But at the bike park, modern day trail bikes really do quite well. For best results, use heavy duty tires. As happens, my taste in trails shifted to parallel the bikes I was now bringing. And as the app called Trail Forks became widely adopted, I spent more time riding Whistler Valley and less time paying Vail Corporate to just wait in line and sit on a lift. More recently, I experienced Whistler Bike Park in yet another completely different lens.
Go. That's right. Are you gonna do it? Yeah. Okay, be safe, use your brakes, and I'll try to follow.
Bringing my daughter when she was still 2 years old, I got to watch her experience the park. Last June, when my daughter was still only 7, we ended up doing 24 runs in the park over Memorial Day weekend. Prior to that family experience, I had never really ridden any of the green or blue trails. Seeing my child experience the park really opened my eyes to its true value. The bike park really is a key asset to our sport. As we rode all those more mellow trails with kiddos, my long-held connotation of Whistler Bike Park and extreme kind of faded. Instead, I remembered that there isn't just one key reason to ride the bike park. We all have our own reasons to explore and experience the park, and all of these are valid. Speaking of this, let me know in the comments down below. Why do you ride the bike park? What do you look forward to? With the experience shift from adrenaline to pure riding to race training to family, the park has remained nearly the same. And when I found myself enjoying the rigid neo-clunker down A-line, well, I realized that this was so different from back in the day, but still kind of the exact same. Before we dive into how it is to ride the rigid clunker at Whistler, let's back up a little bit to getting ready to leave.
Since tomorrow is kind of sort of like the first day back at school or whatever, I thought I would be a good pupil and get my bike looking sharp. So I'm gonna wash it tonight. I'm gonna use my Formula 100 bike wash. Let's give this stuff a go. I've been using this in some non-labeled pre-production packaging for a bit now, and it's impressively good. I'm gonna spray my bike down. I'm gonna wait about 10 minutes, and then I do the whole rinse thing. So if you notice the way I've sprayed this on here, it's not actively running off the bike. It's formulated to stick to the bike, and that works to start to pull some of the grease and gunk like I've got built up in my bottom bracket off of the frame. That's Formula 100 working its magic. We're gonna be clean for tomorrow. Well, the bike, I don't know about me.
5 minutes later.
Ooh, that is a nice improvement. God, the most beautiful bike in my quiver made more beautiful. I think it's time to dry this thing the rest of the way. We're gonna use leaf blower. Almost done. We're gonna use the ride shine to make this bike really fun and shiny to look at. Dude, I better have the best looking rigid bike on the hill. Now that we've actually degreased the chain, our final step is to use some proper chain lube. Huge thanks to my friends at Formula 100 for sponsoring this video. I couldn't do it without them. I've got a link to all the Formula 100 product available at Jensen USA down in the description below. Pop on over if you need to get some chain lube, some bike wash. The stuff works really well. Anything you purchase from that link will not only let Jensen USA know you watch my videos and Formula 100, but it'll directly help support my channel. That's how I can afford to make videos like this. So big thanks to Formula 100 and big thanks to all of you. Let's go ride.
Everyone, we've picked up Savannah. We made it safe and sound across the border, a real smooth crossing, and now we just got to deal with traffic to get into Vancouver.
Accompanied by both Savannah and a light rain,
I'm Savannah.
we made a 3-hour trek north through the border, through Vancouver traffic, and along one of the most beautiful roads in the whole world.
Oh, there's two.
Ooh.
Ah, they're going up your left foot.
Oh.
Where'd the other one go? I don't want to squish it.
Pulling into Whistler Village, I was hit with many questions. Was I going to have to deal with park employees insisting I was being irresponsible? Are neo-clunkers even allowed on the chairlift? Was I going to get inundated with questions about this bike? Was this even safe? Would it even be fun? I learned a while back that if you buy your pass online, it's slightly cheaper. However, still plan on it being a 15 to 20 minute wait in the line to pick up that ticket.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Then it's another 5 to 10 minutes of a lift line. Then plan on seeing a Whistler Rite of Passage, a friendly black bear.
We're never gonna see that bear.
I was wondering what I could do with a rigid bike. First run, I was all sorts of nervous. One thing I haven't explained yet is that Whistler Bike Park has so much traffic running down its trails that the average trail speed is far higher than literally anywhere else I've ridden. If there's anything that a rigid bike does not enjoy, it's speeds over about 20 miles per hour. The rigid bike has minimal forgiveness for overclearing jumps. Casing a jump really isn't that bad.
Cased. I wasn't sure, and then I was very sure.
With lack of suspension, the rigid enduro bike can come into things a bit hotter than a squishy bike, and if you do overclear a jump, it's absolutely not fun. Having not ridden this bike much since the Cascadia Super Gravel race last April, I was going to have to relearn jumping on this thing. Cruising down Crank It Up, I got it in my head that it'd be a nice goal to complete a run down the single most iconic trail at Whistler, A-Line. Heck, A-Line could even be the most iconic trail in the entire world.
Yes.
When the bike park first opened in 2000, no one had ever seen a trail like A-Line, and that hype is still with me today. Successfully warmed up on Crank It Up, the bike was doing great. I felt good, because those pedals really made the rigid way easier to manage.
Sweet! Oh, this lower part is nice. A little smoother than the upper. I'm gonna take some bad lines to avoid some big bumps. Glad I didn't overclear. This bike's so long, it's kind of hard to tweak with in the air, but that length helps a lot with the bumps.
Jumps weren't really too bad either. The larger, steeper jumps at A-Line would be easier than the smaller, flatter, less forgiving jumps on the blue trails.
Before we hit the trails, let's use a little bit of this Formula 100 Speed Blend chain lube. It is dry conditions, but that's okay.
Nice suspension, no worries.
Yeah, it was not bad. On blue trails, I might try A-Line this run.
Hey, sure, that'd be pretty sick on the jump, bro.
On jump trail, like it's just if you have high speed, like rocks or holes, high speed's no good.
Do you have that YouTube channel? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah, I think
I'm Jeff.
Yeah, of course, so.
Off I went into an experience I'll likely remember for the rest of my life.
All right. I did get fairly familiar with this one doing the handlebar comparison right before our season closed. Woo! Watch out for that rock. Oh, I'm gonna case. Clear, okay. Dude, this is okay. The trail has some suspension to it to make up for the bike.
But it wasn't all whips and giggles. In my mind, I really didn't want this to be merely a publicity stunt.
Maybe let's not hit the big. Probably could.
I wanted to ride it for me, to feel what it was like to spend some time on this trail, getting to truly know it and better understand that whole concept of rigid.
Okay, got a little faster on that guy.
Note to self on next run, go a little bit faster for a few of those tabletops. Speed's about right with the rigid in the soft conditions. And clear those put about proper.
It's been good. I was surprised. Yeah. I keep going, slowing down to not overclear, and then I case slightly, so. Yeah. How's your rig? Cool. You too. See how this bottom part is All right, maybe I should not do the rock drop. That'd probably be prudent.
The spookiest feature on the entire trail, for me, would be the rock drop. It's about a 5-foot drop from a rock shelf down into a landing below. In my mind, it was massive and way too big for a rigid bike. After a few runs, I had nailed most of the features I wanted. Normally, I can hit most of the jumps on A-line, no problem. But on this bike, even these smaller ones were a little bit of a puzzle to figure out.
I can go faster for that one. I think I'd probably be okay on that.
Things are working out. It was time for a second run with a little more confidence, and of course, this wouldn't be quite as blind since I just had that first run.
Sneakiest, cheaterest bike on A-line. There's a big rock right there. Okay, avoid that. Okay, right in the money spot. Yes, a little over, not bad. Ew. Can't make it through a full run without going ew. At least if I have fun. I'll skip that for now. Yes, there it is. That is fun. Okay, slight case. But I'd rather case than slide over clear. Okay, nice. Yes, there it is. All right, props to the Whistler Trail crew for keeping this trail so smooth. There we go. I might look at this rock drop. Oh, we could definitely do that. Pre-ride, re-ride, free ride. So we're gonna go middle line. I think we'll go a little slower middle line, it'll be okay.
It was finally time. Let's try the rock drop.
There it is, sweet. Oh, that wasn't bad. Cool. I could probably get that one. But I also want to get my other bike and explore with squish. A little bit bumpy. Oh yeah, this jump's a bit
Feeling
bigger.
good at the rock drop, it was finally time to hit the last few jumps that I thought were feasible with the Rigid Wonder.
There it is, cool. I got this one last time. Slide over it clear. Perfect. Cool. Oh, not terrible, but not great on the braking. I'm not gonna send this guy. It'll probably be chill, but yeah, that's a bit bumpy.
I thought this was kind of cool. That's 30.1 miles per hour or 49 kilometers per hour. That's right, almost 50 Ks on the rigid bike. And it wasn't that bad.
But it's not terrible, I can talk through it. My fingers are holding on tight.
What is that, man? I saw you earlier and I was like,
This is just a rigid enduro bike. It's made by a British company called Stooge.
what are you riding?
Where?
What? Sorry.
I'm doing A-line right now.
What?
I might.
An A-line on it?
Yeah, the top part was good. This bottom part's, I'll probably be my last run until I got my other bike. But
Did you get movie or anything?
I did not send the big one. I think it could probably do it, but I'm okay.
Super impressive.
Things were working, I had done a few runs, and I finally got to see a great view of a beautiful black bear. But it was time to put everything together.
Last run, my card filled up partway down, so we lost it. This run, we're on the internal storage. Hopefully we can get it fully. Thanks. I think I'm on.
Amazing.
Am I on Instagram Live right now?
You have it?
Am I on Instagram Live? You're like filming.
No, it's just up. Filming.
Okay, cool.
Wow, amazing.
It's been fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
If there was going to be a run with full commitment, full confidence, and good times, it was going to be this one.
All right, see if I can remember where these jumps are bigger and smaller. This one should be okay. It's great. And then this one should be great. It is goldenly great. Oh, I should do the big booter, but I'm gonna be safe. There we go. A little bit far, but it was okay. There we go. Pump. All right. There it is.
I love talking about the latest, greatest gear and tech. But to me, at the end of the day, bikes are simply tools. Tools for an amazing experience in nature and in the world. And the experience I wanted to get on A-Line on this very day was with the Rigid bike. With all my cheater parts on the bike, the experience was quite positive, and I look back to it quite fondly. It's also a great learning experience. In order to best ride your favorite bike, well, you gotta ride some other bikes to really understand why that favorite bike is so favorite.
Here we go. I feel confident now. Hopefully not too confident, but a safe confident. Yoo!
If there was gonna be a run where I hit the rock drop at full trail speed, well, this was gonna be it.
There's the corner. We are not gapping this. We are going slow and jump.
After about a half dozen runs on the Rigid bike down A-Line, I was stoked. I was having a great time. I've hit A-Line for 20 years and I love that trail, but it was really fun to change it up and just try it with a different light. But with that said, my triceps were getting a little sore and I did really want to ride that Pivot Firebird.
All right, so I'm getting off the Rigid bike. Max speed on the Rigid bike was 35.7 miles per hour. Holy cow, 5,800 feet of descending. That is a lot.
Cool. All right, man. Yeah, thanks.
Alex, nice to meet you. Have a great ride.
Hey, you too, man. I'll be watching you be on the ride.
I felt I had done enough to understand riding Rigid on the best bike park in the world. I also wanted to experience more of the park and in a more traditional way. I've been testing this new Pivot Firebird and it's one amazing bike. A few runs in the park on it would be an absolute treat, but something kind of unexpected happened.
Gotta get used to this bike too. I am not pinning it through this right now. I think it's harder to get used to the modern bike than it was to get used to the Rigid bike.
First run down on the Bird, and I was more nervous and timid than I ever was on the Rigid. I had no idea how fast I should go, and the speeds I was going felt way too fast, as it was hard to remember the cushion of suspension there to save my carcass. Somewhat unsettled, I bumped into this chap who goes by the name Pat.
You want to do Schleyer? I'll follow you down and I'll learn something and then hopefully find my big bike skills. Big bike.
Yeah, those are big bikes.
Big compared to a Rigid. Alright.
Pat and I have kids about the same age, even overlapped at some EWS races, and he's a rippin' rider. I asked to follow him through the park a bit, and we systematically went through and rode a bunch of the classic trails.
Whoa! I was wondering if you were gonna jump that. Okay, there we go.
The chance to follow a local through this park is an absolute treat. We hit things blind that I wouldn't have attempted after multiple runs on my own.
Nice, Pat. Sweet, thank you.
Seeing what his downhill bike could do was a very inspiring thing, and we even hit the lower Canadian Open drop, which I had no idea is about 3 times larger than it looks from the lift.
Nice. It was about 10 feet longer than I thought it would be.
From there we hit Dwayne Johnson, a run I haven't done proper since 2015.
How's Dwayne Johnson?
It's good right now.
Seems like it's fast.
Yeah.
You want to go that way?
Yeah, we can do that.
I don't think I've hit it in 10 years.
And here's a clip of literally the last time I hit it 10 years ago. The high speed and big hucks on this trail are absolutely no joke. It was way safer to be following a local through this.
Yes.
The next drop is super fast and also super blind. This thing is pretty scary.
Second thing's off it.
Oh, sweet, thank you. I would not have hit that if I wasn't following you.
No, it's nice having like
Oh my God.
something to watch for speed, right? Otherwise
Yeah.
it's so hard to judge in your mind.
Thanks, yeah, thank you for that.
No problem.
That's huge.
Nice checking out after the season, eh?
Oh my God.
As they say, the biggest jumps are always on the blue trails, and sure enough, Heart of Darkness has an amazing booter hidden right between a tabletop and a berm. Check this out. There are so many ways to enjoy this sport, and there's so many ways to enjoy even the same trail, and it's all valid.
Nice, Pat.
Folks get all uppity about the cost of bike. The solution is simple. Go build up a rigid wonder bike. It's wild how fun riding the rigid bike truly is, and it's lovely being able to question just how much we need all this latest bling. Even a hardtail is a great paradigm shift. Humans are funny critters. We're happy as clams until we see something shiny. Then we need it. If suspension had never been invented, how many of us would still love riding just as much? I truly think it's most of us. Don't try to take my squish away from me, but do give the dark side a try. It might just surprise you at just what you can accomplish. Thank you all so much for joining me. This was a blast to go ride Whistler. Big thanks to Formula 100. Give them a check over at Jensen USA down in the description below. While I was having my fantastically fun adventure in the bike park, Savannah was out having a Vision Quest solo ride, and she put together a really fun ride report that's up on my website. I'll run a link to that in the top right corner, as well as in the description down below. Leave me a comment down below. Why do you go to Whistler? What do you look forward to? What's the best part of the bike park for you? All right, everyone. I'll see you in those comments. Peace and wheelies.
That was a good little run.
Good, yeah.
My fingers are...
That one, yeah, definitely more with the hands. Bit tight.
Woo! Such a good jump.